is from the University of Groningen, and I'm going to hand straight over. Can you, Marieke, are you ready? You're still on mute.
Yes, sorry, I think you can hear me now. Yes, thank you. Let me see. I am Marieke Schreuder. I am currently finishing my PhD in Groningen, the Netherlands. And I will today talk to you about the stability of subthreshold psychopathology. And for the purposes of this presentation, I will regard subthreshold symptoms as expressions of psychopathology which are too mild to substantiate a mental disorder, but nevertheless cause impairment. And we know that these symptoms often are mixed in the sense they span multiple domains. So I think it fits really well with a transdiagnostic approach to mental health. So a lot of research has focused on the long-term progression of subthreshold psychopathology. So if you report these subthreshold symptoms now, what is the probability that you will develop a mental disorder later on?
Sorry, Marieke, could you put your slides on display mode?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I can. Let's see. I have to.
You should be able to do it just by clicking presenter mode in PowerPoint, and then it'll go to full screen.
Is it showing now? Because I'm in presenter mode, but
it is.
Yeah,
but don't worry.
I think that's presenter mode, but you need to just go on to normal slideshow mode, because otherwise we can see all your notes. And
I'm so sorry. Let's see how I can.
I think you can do presenter mode, but you have to select partial screen to share, not the whole screen.
Okay. Partial screen.
I think it's okay, just in the interest of time.
Yeah, sorry, because otherwise, oh, I'm not seeing anything myself right now. Okay, sorry, I will just continue as it is, hoping that you can see my slides.
At the very bottom, there should be a little sort of television sign. If you click on that, it should go to the full screen presenter mode. If you can't, don't worry.
The one next
go
to the
right,
minus
go
sign.
right, go right again. Go a little cursor right. That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Press.
Sorry. Okay.
Press that button.
So the one your mouse is on right now, if you just click that, will be good.
This one.
Yes, that's the one.
Do it now.
And now you're in presenter mode, I think, right?
We'll do with that. That's fine.
Sorry. Okay. I'll put away my notes. So a lot of research has focused on, as I said, the progression of subthreshold symptoms. So from if you report it now, what is the probability that you will develop a mental disorder later on? So for example, if people experience depression or anxiety right now, their probability of having a mental disorder later on is about 13%. And let me see. So, but if you have subthreshold symptoms of depression and anxiety, now the probability that you will have disorder in 3 years is between 14 and 33%. So for psychosis, these numbers are somewhat similar, but they vary a bit depending on the definition of what is regarded subthreshold and also the operationalization and the sample that is being investigated. But I think the relevant point for this presentation is that most individuals with subthreshold symptoms do not develop a mental disorder later on. So you can think that these persons will either remit or experience persisting symptoms. And we therefore wanted to investigate how stable are these subthreshold symptoms. So how often do people experience a persisting state of subthreshold psychopathology. And for those of you who have been in the talk of Eiko Fried earlier this day, he talked about these basins of attraction, and you can think of those basins as being either mental health or mental disorder, but perhaps these basins can also reflect subthreshold symptoms. So this is what we wanted to investigate. And I here denoted 2 scenarios. So in the left figure, you can see a scenario where the stability of symptoms does not relate to the severity of symptoms. So this would basically mean that subthreshold symptoms are as stable as either a healthy mental state or a disordered mental state. And in figure B, you can see a situation where a subthreshold symptoms are less stable than either a healthy or disordered state. So this figure B shows, I think, what is often implicitly assumed, namely that subthreshold symptoms are just a transient in between 2 more stable conditions. So I investigated these 2 conflicting scenarios using intensive longitudinal data from the Transit study, which is a daily diary study where we followed 122 at-risk young adults for a period of 6 months, and we asked them to monitor their mental state every evening. And based on the resulting time series data, which spanned more than 1 million observations, I calculated symptom stability and symptom severity while accounting for changes that happen over time using a generalized additive mixed model. And what I found was the following. So each dot in this graph represents a unique individual. And on the y-axis, you can see symptom stability. And on the x-axis, you can see symptom severity. And the black line represents the fit of a linear model, whereas the gray line here represents the fit of a polynomial model. But neither model indicates any relationship between the severity of symptoms and their stability, meaning that subthreshold symptoms are as stable as well, a healthy mental state and a disordered mental state. And I also separated in this figure individuals who met the criteria for a DSM-5 diagnosis and those who did not. And what we found is that, of course, individuals with a DSM-5 diagnosis have more severe symptoms, so more negative mental states on a daily basis, but they do not differ in terms of the stability of their symptoms. So, I think what we can conclude is that subthreshold symptoms are not different in their stability from less severe or more severe symptoms. That does not mean, of course, that we should treat them the same as we treat mental disorders, but I think that it does mean that, or it does mean that we may alter the way we think about these symptoms, namely not just as a transient in between, but more as a stable condition in which individuals can get stuck if they're unlucky. So with that, I would like to end this presentation. I'm sorry for all the technical issues that made it a bit longer than expected, probably. If you have any questions, please contact me. And well, thank you for your attention.
Start again, sorry, going to need to unmute.
Don't understand why that's happening.